think are the key issues with technology as it relates to recruiting today?
Well, I mean, I think the general application process is really a groundswell educational effort for most organizations. So really embracing the new wave of AI tools is about figuring out how many people in the organization can actually use new tools and really coming up with squads and teams that are dedicated to not only just understanding the new tools, but embracing them, learning the pitfalls, and then carrying that education across the team. If they don't really have that education, that's when all the cybersecurity issues really pop up because humans are the weakest link. So if we can't get our teams involved and actually committed to going through those learning exercises, taking the bruises of the experience and then communicating that to the team, they're going to go for a tool that's simply the click the button and do whatever the button tells us. And that means they're blindly trusting a platform without really putting the thought process behind why am I clicking the button? You know, is this good for me? Is it good for the candidate? Is it good for the company?
Right,
Yeah.
right. And James, what would you say with respect to on the other side of the equation, the applicant experience, and how people are experiencing working with companies in the recruiting process?
Well, there's been some real shifts, from when I started my career 800 years ago to what we're seeing today. We were talking earlier about how in-person interviews are a thing of the past, and so now everything is done virtually. You've got to prepare for that. Where you may have interviewed very well live, a lot of people may not be as comfortable in front of the camera. And just even preparing the resume and the cover letter and everything to start the process. What a difference we see in the world today. And Andre, you alluded to this earlier. The AI tools are just as available for the candidate as they are for the recruiting company. But to Barry's point, are people really understanding how to use them effectively and when to use them and when not to use them? And what the results are that they're getting. Is it helping them or is it hurting them? So there's definitely some learning curve on both sides of the equation.
Yeah, 100%. And it kind of goes back to what Barry said, is just fully trusting AI right now can be a challenge. You throw in a prompt and people talk a bit about hallucinations, but the reality is people just prompt their resume and hope that it all aligns. And you gotta really fine tune and understand how to prompt these new tools and technologies to give you a structured output that is valid for your candidacy, and be able to talk about the points that it creates and focus on individual pieces of your resume as opposed to just prompting the whole resume, spitting out a new asset and then delivering that to match a job. It's great that we can do that, but it doesn't necessarily help you navigate more effectively. So I think the ability to customize is different than it's ever been before, but we've got to really hone in and understand the tools and the technologies that we're using to be able to benefit us without it hurting candidacy. Because I've seen a lot of resumes where it's just like everything under the sun, and then people can't talk about the things that are on there, and that's got the opposite effect in my mind in terms of their ability to deliver when they get on the ground. So those can be a hindrance to your application process.